While cleaning out the garage today, I came across this poem, short story that was in a box of my grandmother's things. And I want to read it. And in light that it is Black History Month, I wanted to read it to y'all because, I mean, it's gold. What if there were no black people? This is a story of a little boy named Daniel who woke up one morning and asked God, what if there were no black people in the world? Well, God thought about that for a moment and then said, son, follow me around today and let's see just what it would be like if there were no black people in the world. Get dressed and we will get started. Daniel ran to his room to put on his clothes and shoes, but there were no shoes and his clothes were all wrinkled. He got ready to iron, but when he reached for the ironing board, it was no longer there. You see, Sarah Boone, a black woman, invented the ironing board, and Jan E. Matzinglinger, a black man, invented the shoe lasting machine. Oh well, God said, go and do your hair. Daniel searched for the comb to comb his hair, but the comb was not there. You see, Walter Sammons, a black man, invented the comb. Daniel decided to just brush his hair, but the brush was gone. You see, Lydia O. Newman, a black female, invented the brush. Well, he was a sight. No shoes, wrinkled clothes, hair a mess, without the hair care inventions of Madam C.J. Walker. Well, you get the picture. God told Daniel, let's do the chores around the house and then take a trip to the grocery store. Daniel's job was to sweep the floor. He swept and swept and swept. When he reached for the dustpan, it was not there. You see, Lloyd P. Ray, a black man, invented the dustpan. So he swept his pile of dirt over in the corner and left it there. He then decided to mop the floor, but the mop was gone. You see, Thomas W. Stewart, a black man, invented the mop. Daniel thought to himself, I'm not having any luck. Well, son, God said, we should wash the clothes and prepare a list for the grocery store. When he was finished, Daniel went to place the clothes in the dryer, but it was not there. You see, George T. Samoan, a black man, invented the clothes dryer. Daniel got a pencil and some paper to prepare the list for the market, but noticed that the pencil lead was broken, as well as he was out of luck because John Love, a black man, invented the pencil sharpener. He reached for a pen, but it was not there because William Purvis, a black man, invented the fountain pen. As a matter of fact, Lee Burridge invented the typewriting machine and W.A. Leavitt invented the printing press. Both were black men. So they decided to head out to the market. Well, when Daniel opened the door, he noticed the grass was as high as it was tall. Remember your high top? You see, the lawnmower was invented by John Burr, a black man. So they then made their way over to the car and found that it just wouldn't go. You see, Robert Spikes, a black man, invented the automatic gear shift, and Joseph Gamble, a black man, invented the supercharged system for internal combustion engines. They noticed that the few cars that were moving were running into each other and having wrecks because there was no traffic signals. You see, Garrett A. Morgan, a black man, invented the traffic light. Well, it was getting late, so they walked to the market, got their groceries, and returned home. Just when they were about to put the milk away, eggs and butter, they noticed the refrigerator was gone. You see, John Standard, a black man, invented the refrigerator. So they put the food on the counter. By this time, they noticed it was getting mighty cold. Daniel went to turn up the heat, and what do you know? Alice Parker, a black female, invented the heating furnace. Even in the summertime, they would have been out of luck because Frederick Jones, a black man, invented the air conditioner. It was almost time for Daniel's father to arrive home. He usually took the elevator from his office on the 20th floor, but there was no elevator because Alexander Miles, a black man, invented the elevator. He usually took the bus, but there was no bus because its precursor was the electric trolley, invented by another black man, Elbert T. Robinson. He usually dropped off the office mail at a nearby mailbox, but it was no longer there because Philip Downing, a black man, invented the letter drop mailbox.
20 minutes later.
So if you ever wonder, like Daniel, where we would be without blacks, well, it's pretty plain to see. We could very well still be in the dark. And that's just a few of their inventions. If you gained any insight from this, please pass it on so that others may grow. And at the very bottom it says, in spite of me, God keeps blessing me. I am so grateful for all that he is to me, all that he means to my life, and all that he wants to be. There's no author on this. Happy Black History Month.
These videos are everywhere. They say black people invented the ironing board, the pen, the gas shift, even air conditioning. And if you're white, well, apparently all you did was steal. It is a comforting narrative for some black folks, but it is simply not true. Yes, black inventors made important contributions, that is real, but saying they invented what they didn't, that is not pride. That is propaganda. Now let's take a look at the inventions she cited along with who actually invented those things. The ironing board, okay? Claim. She said that Sarah Boone, a black woman, invented the ironing board. Truth. Sarah Boone patented an improvement of the ironing board in 1892. She patented an improvement, not invented. Ironing boards existed before Boone made a great contribution, but not an original invention. Two white men by the name of W. Vandelborg and J. Harvey have already patented an ironing table in 1858, long before Sarah Boone. Comb, pen, typewriter, pencil, sharpener all existed before any black innovators were involved. These items were developed by European and American inventors over centuries, okay? There is absolutely no evidence that these were black inventions. In fact, the pencil sharpener's earliest invention was done by Bernard Lassimon, a French man during the early 19th century. Dustpan. Leod Ray, a black man, patented a dustpan improvement. Not the first, but a contribution nonetheless. Mop. Thomas W. Stewart, a black man, improved it with a ringing mechanism in 1893. Again, not first, but valuable. But already way back in 1837, Jacob Howey, a white American man, patented a mop. Also, earlier before that, other rudimentary mop designs can be traced back to centuries, even way before that. Cloth dryer. George T. Sampson, a black man, patented a clothes dryer secker 1892. But already, a French inventor, Pochon, already created a mechanical dryer in 1799 using a perforated drum over a fire long before Sampson. Typewriter. It was invented by Christopher Sholes, a white American man, in 1868. The automatic gear shift was in fact invented by Alfred Honor Monroe, Canadian man. He did it in 1921. The traffic light. Yeah, Garrett Morgan patented a 3-position signal in 1923. That was the black man, okay? But way back in 1868, John Pickett Knight, a British guy, had already invented the first gaslit traffic signal in London. It was gaslit. And after that, in 1912, Lester Wire, a white American guy, built the first electric traffic light. And then in 1920, William Potts, a Detroit police officer, developed the modern 3-color traffic light. This was all before Garrett Morgan's patent in 1923. And as for the refrigerator, William Cullen, Scottish scientist, demonstrated artificial refrigeration in 1748. Okay, Oliver Evans, an American white man, designed a refrigeration machine in 1805. Now, Jacob Perkins, also an American white guy, built the first vapor compression fridge in 1834. John Corey, a white American physician, utilized refrigeration for medical use in 1850s. Carl von Linde, German man, patented gas liquefying for refrigeration in 1876, all long before the black patent. I'm not happy about this. I'm not happy doing this, but the truth must be told. As for the air conditioner, American inventor Willie H. Carey built what is considered the first modern electrical air conditioning unit. In 1902, he installed his first air conditioning system, patented air conditioning, that's what he called it, okay, in 1906. And by 1914, the first domestic air conditioner was installed. Now, he is a white guy. Prior to that, though, a Glasgow inventor by the name of Alexander Stewart created an early air-sourced thermotank heat pump in 1898, predating Carrier's design. He is also a white guy. I'm giving out the date and names so you can go fact check at your convenience. Now, the elevator. Elisha Otis is credited with inventing the first safety elevator. he is a white guy. In 1852, he developed a safety brake mechanism that prevented elevators from falling if the hoisting cable broke. This innovation was crucial for the widespread adoption of elevators and the development of modern high-rise buildings, okay? While the concept of vertical transportation dates back much further, with early examples like those used in ancient Rome, Otto's invention was revolutionary because it addressed the critical safety concerns associated with lifting devices. His safety brake mechanism, demonstrated at the 1853 World's Fair, ensured that the elevator platform would stop if the cable failed, making passenger travel in elevators much safer. And the electric trolley that she claimed was invented by a black individual was actually invented by Frank J. Sprague, a white American electric engineer, in 1888. Sorry guys, that is the truth, and the truth must be told. Now, the only original invention by a black person out of the whole inventions she mentioned was the shoelacing machine, a machine that simplified and aided the complex process of joining a shoe sole to its upper, okay? That was quite revolutionary, and it changed the shoe producing industry. This machine was invented by a man called Jan Ernst Matzeliger. I think I'm correct, I don't know. He was a Surinamese Dutch inventor, okay? He is the only black person out of the long list of people she mentioned who clearly created the first version of his invention. So I wonder where she got all her details from. I don't know where she got all those things she was quoting from, okay? And that is why I was wondering, how did we get here? Where history is rewritten on TikTok and on other social media platforms to say that black people invented everything or invented what they did not invent, and then white people did nothing but steal it all for themselves. Why are we trying to rewrite history so much? Of course, black history is part of American history. I am not denying that. That is fact, okay? But history doesn't need to be distorted for it to be respected. Let us teach real facts. Let us honor real heroes and reject myth, okay, no matter how trendy they are on social media. And black people, please, black people, I'm talking to you right now. Stop deliberately inviting people to criticize you by claiming their inventions and trying to erase their contributions to human civilization. I find it really interesting that even the innovations and modifications of these inventions that were made by black people were made by black people that is in a white man's environment, okay? They were not made by black people living amongst other black people. They were made by black people that were living amongst white people, not black people living in Africa, the Caribbean, etc. They were made by black people living amongst white people, okay? Tapping off of the experience and the knowledge and the environment of white people. That is a very important factor you should all take into consideration. No single invention or modification of any reasonable item from the motherland, okay? None from Wakanda nation, okay? In fact, while we claim to have invented everything on earth, Wakanda land, I mean, Africa, as of today, looks like it was left behind in the 10th century. So I think that what we should be wondering within ourselves, I'm not saying you should say it out loud, just wonder within yourself is this: what if there were no white people? What would have happened to the world as we know it? And again, I'm not happy I'm making this video, seeing as I am a black person, but the truth must be told. And as always, guys, these are my thoughts, these are my opinions. Please feel free to share yours in the comment section below, but do so respectfully. Also, if you're not yet subscribed to the channel, honestly, I don't know what you're waiting for. Subscribe to the channel. Like and share this video to keep people informed, and consider joining my membership or supporting the channel in any way that you can. Thank you for watching this video, and I hope to catch you on the next one. For now,